Kavi the clever fox and the stolen berries. In a lush forest filled with towering trees and sparkling streams, there lived a clever fox named Kavi. Kavi had sharp eyes, a quick wit, and an even quicker tongue. His cleverness was admired by many, and animals from all around the forest often came to him for advice, knowing he could solve any problem with ease. However, Kavi had one flaw, his pride. He loved to outsmart others, sometimes to the point of deception. He often played pranks, and while some animals enjoyed his tricks, others began to feel uneasy about his tendency to bend the truth. The forest community had a tradition. Every year they gathered food in preparation for the long, cold winter. This included berries, nuts, and other provisions that would be stored in the forest's central food cache. The task was important as it ensured that no animal would go hungry when the snow fell. And every creature in the forest played a part. Kavi, being clever, had a knack for gathering more than his share, but he always returned the extra portions, or so he told himself. After all, he would say, it wasn't truly stealing if you gave it back, right? One warm autumn morning, the day came for the animals to inspect the food cache. It was a time of celebration, as they all looked forward to the upcoming months of safety and comfort. The wise old owl, Orina, called a meeting in the clearing, where all the animals gathered to discuss the food collection. As they inspected the berries, nuts, and other supplies, a hushed silence fell over the group. Some of the piles were smaller than expected, and others appeared to have been tampered with. The berries, the most sought after food for the winter, were particularly scarce. There are fewer berries than there should be, Orina said, her voice calm but firm. Does anyone know what happened to them? The animals looked around nervously, unsure of how to respond. Kavi, who had been standing near the back, felt a twinge of discomfort. He had indeed taken a larger share of the berries the night before, thinking he could sneak them back before anyone noticed. But the plan had failed. He had dropped several handfuls while sneaking away, and they had rolled into the bushes out of reach. He hadn't meant for it to happen, but now he feared the truth would be discovered. He debated whether he should keep quiet or take the chance to lie his way out of it. After all, who would suspect him? He was always so charming and clever. I'm not sure what happened, Kavi said, his voice smooth and calm. I'm sure it was just an accident. Perhaps the wind blew the berries away? Or maybe the squirrels took some for their own winter stash? The animals murmured in agreement, but Orina's sharp eyes narrowed. She had lived many years and knew that the truth often hid beneath layers of deceit. We'll see about that, she said. The wise owl gathered the animals for a search deep within him, assigning teams to comb the forest floor, looking for clues. As the animals spread out, Kavi felt a pang of guilt. He could hear the distant chatter of his friends as they searched. And for the first time, he began to feel the weight of his actions. He knew he was deceiving them, but he also didn't want to get caught. His heart raced with anxiety. As the day wore on, the searchers returned empty-handed. No one had found anything that could explain the missing berries. The atmosphere grew tense, and Kavi's guilt grew heavier. Finally, Orina called the animals together once more. We have looked high and low, and no one has come forward with any information. But I have a feeling we're not seeing the whole picture. Orina said, her voice soft but filled with wisdom. Kavi, she turned her gaze to the clever fox. I believe you know more than you're letting on. Kavi's heart sank. For a moment, he considered denying it, but something deep inside him urged him to speak the truth. He thought of his friends, of the animals who trusted him, and how his deception had hurt them. It wasn't just about the berries, it was about the trust that had been broken. He knew then that he couldn't hide the truth any longer. With a deep breath, Kavi stepped forward, his ears drooping in shame. I took the berries, he said quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. I thought I could return them before anyone noticed. But I dropped some, and now they're ruined. I'm sorry. The forest fell silent. Kavi felt his heart pounding in his chest. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, slowly, Orina spoke again. Kavi, she said softly, you have admitted your mistake, and for that, I commend you. It takes courage to own up to what we've done wrong. However, you must understand that the consequences of your actions cannot be ignored. We must all work together to fix what has been broken. The animals nodded in agreement. Kavi felt a deep sense of relief but also regret. He had done something wrong, and though honesty had come with a heavy cost, it also brought a sense of peace he had not expected. In the days that followed, Kavi worked hard to make amends. He led the efforts to gather new berries and helped repair the food cache. Although some of the animals were disappointed with him, they also respected his honesty. They could see that Kavi was truly sorry for his actions, and they appreciated that he had owned up to his mistake. Winter arrived, and while the forest faced cold and snow, no one went hungry. The animals had enough to survive, thanks to their collective effort and Kavi's willingness to be honest. The clever fox had learned an important lesson, that honesty, while sometimes difficult, was always the right choice.